guys. I'm Aaron Dorr, one of your four co-hosts tonight. I'm with Iowa gun owners. I work with the Missouri Firearms Coalition, other states around the Midwest. Joined, as always, with Chris Dorr, my brother Chris in Ohio, in the office in Beaver Creek, Ohio. Benjamin Dorr, my other brother, with Minnesota Gun Rights, who has some hilarious stuff to talk about tonight out of the North Star State in their war to stop radical gun control. Patrick Parsons, the fourth member of the team tonight, with Georgia Gun Owners in the house tonight from his office in Kennesaw, Georgia.
What's up?
Guys, this is going to be a big show tonight. We have a lot of cool things to talk about. Most of you guys all were out here or watched us online. Was it last weekend? I guess it was 2 weekends ago now. We were out in Indianapolis. We were running live operations the entire weekend in Indy as the NRA convention was going on inside their penthouse suite at the top of the JW Marriott. And meantime, gun owners were being informed by our airplane banner, by our mobile truck banner, and by all the things we could possibly think of to expose the NRA's support for Red Flag Gun Seizure. As we told you guys all this time, the moment that we get 100,000 petitions on hand, we are going to bring them somehow or other to the White House. We have some announcements on that tonight. We're talking about that. We're talking about Spartacus. I'm trying to get my sheet here. Spartacus, this lovely man who wants to put you in prison if you don't register every firearm you had. Just to be clear, I mean, I think you could confirm this, Patrick. This is the guy who invented a homeless friend when he was on the campaign stump when he ran for local office, and then later on he had to admit that he invented a homeless friend as a construct in his mind just to have something to talk about on the campaign stump. I mean, the guy is as dumb as they come. Oh yeah, you can Google it.
Yeah,
that's legit.
And
that's legit.
Y'all should know this, guys. I mean, this is the guy who walks into Iowa and says he's a vegetarian. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of like
look, for all the Iowans who are watching, good evening, first of all, to all the Iowans. But Iowans, he didn't just come into Iowa and go to like Iowa City or Coralville. He was in Carroll, Iowa when he said this. And you guys in Iowa, maybe you guys out of Iowa, you know there's no place that is more it's their bread and butter. There's no county that raises better beef. Maybe Sioux County, I don't know. No county better in Iowa than Carroll County for beef farming. And this guy comes in here and says that we shouldn't be eating meat, and just a nut job.
Is that for real?
It's for real. Google it. You can Google it. So we're going to talk about Spartacus. We're going to talk about the White House, big announcement on that here in a little bit, and all the rest of the news that's fit to print when it comes to Second Amendment issues. The Minnesota legislature is raging right now. You're going to hear from Ben about that. They're in session for about what, Ben? 10 more days, give or take?
13 more days.
13 more days. And it's probably the focal point right now in the country when it comes to the gun control battle at the state level is happening right now in Minnesota. And Ben has the front row driver's seat to that whole throwdown. So you hear more about that. And of course, Chris will talk to us about the fight for constitutional carry in Ohio, raging battle. And again, he's in committee again tomorrow on that.
And against Mikey DeWine, Kasich's brand new launched attack against for red flags.
Red flags. So a lot of stuff going tonight. Let us know where you're watching from, guys. We're posting comments right now on the various platforms. Be sure to let us know where you're watching from in the comment section. To all of the trolls tonight, we're looking forward to it. We're geared up. We're ready to rock. So
welcome to YouTube.
Please come out hard and take your best shot. We're ready for you. We're looking forward to it, buddy. A lot of folks here. Michael, I'm going to have to disagree, man. The beef is better in Iowa because we raise them on corn. That's just the bottom line, dude.
Silage.
I
hear Wayne LaPierre likes to eat tofu.
We give them what they need. That's just all there is to it. So for the trolls, for the friends and the fans, it's going to be a great show, guys. Get signed up. Get buckled in. Ben is posting comments, I hope, on my pages right now. And, guys, again, a major way to help us in these broadcasts is to host a watch party, to host your own watch party on your Facebook page because, again, it reaches so many people who don't follow us on our primary channels. If you want to host a watch party, I know that Alexandra is doing it tonight in Missouri. I know that Michelle's doing it right now in Wyoming. Wherever you guys are doing it from, help us out and host a watch party. It's a great way to get this stuff seen by as many people as possible. Tons of folks watching right now from beef country in Northwest Iowa. Tamara Johnson watching right now from, let's see here, Marcus, Iowa. Tamara, that's where our grandparents, my grandparents, and Ben and Chris's are from Marcus, Iowa.
Where we came from.
Very pleased to have some local folks on the show tonight. Let's see where we started with, guys. Where are we going first here tonight?
Well, we're going to start first of all with a big shout out to everybody in Ohio right now tonight. Everybody should be done voting. I hope everybody went and voted against all the ridiculous tax levies that are on the ballot today. They're just everybody, every entity out there had their hands out today. So I'm hoping everybody, you guys can all come in here, but I hope you guys all did your civic duty and voted that crap down. So just want to
get a handout. It's budget year in Minnesota, and every freaking loser is up in St. Paul trying to get a bite of that pie. It's insane.
Guys, I think we need to go for the big one here, and that's the big meeting that we have tomorrow, right? I mean,
I think before we do that, I had a lot of people after our last week's broadcast that basically it's their first time with the watch parties. There's a lot of questions out there about what exactly is a red flag gun seizure. I know sometimes I think maybe we've hit it too many times. But had a lot of folks from my parents' church actually who were asking the question on Sunday, hey, we heard your boys talking, but what the hell are, well, it's in church. So what the heck is a red flag gun seizure anyway?
Yeah.
So we're going to do a brief recap on that briefly. And then we're going to get back to some of the comments here as comments are flooding in right now. Be sure to let us know where you're watching from, guys, on the comment feed right now. We'll answer all of your questions tonight, whatever we can. I see Shauna watching from Casper. Good to see you, Shauna. All right, a red flag gun seizure. It depends on how it's written. There's lots of different variations. The heart and soul of it, though, is that basically anybody who does, and they're only going to get worse. As these bill drafts come out, they're only going to get worse. So the way it works is anybody who doesn't like you, and it could be an ex-spouse, it could be an ex-boyfriend, it could be an ex-girlfriend, it could be a liberal college professor, it could be a embittered, politicized doctor, it could be a psychiatrist, a psychologist, pretty much anybody. Hell, Santa Claus can come around your chimney on Christmas Eve, and if they don't like you, they can call in a complaint, and sometimes they can literally phone it in or in person, file a complaint with the authorities and say, let me pick on someone here. Patty Hodges, my good friend. Patty Hodges is a danger to herself or somebody else. That's what the claim could be.
Not Patty.
It could be Patty. You never know. And because she watches all those Iowa gun owners videos, she has an IGO decal in the back of her car. Maybe you do, Patty. Maybe you don't. And she has firearms. And my God, she bought a firearm at a gun show on Saturday. And I'm not laughing. In many states, in Pennsylvania right now, and in Missouri last year, in most of these states, the evidence that can be used against you includes the recent acquisition of a firearm or ammunition. And so if you bought a gun, if you bought some ammo, and someone doesn't like you, they phone the complaint. The judge then hears this complaint and decides whether or not to issue the seizure order. And I can tell you right now, in almost every case, they issue them, quote unquote, just in case. Just in case, because no judge is going to sit there and assume the PR liability of somebody doing something bad down the road when they could have said, oh, this person could have stopped it. So they roll them out like candy, and then the law enforcement comes to your home and they seize your firearms. They're confiscated. You lose your ability to buy firearms. If you have firearms, they're confiscated. Any permits you have to buy or carry, those are revoked. And that's it. You're done. You're dead in the water until you go back into court. It could be 30 days later. It could be 6 months later. It could be a year later. And then you prove your innocence. So again, the idea of being innocent until proven guilty, kind of a big thing in, America, that's gone. You are guilty until you come back in and prove yourself to be innocent. That's a huge issue. And again, what I never said the words arrested or charged or indicted, or the big one, convicted. You're never convicted in court before you lose your gun rights. And let's just be clear, I think you guys all agree with me on this. In many cases, this will be a lifetime gun ban,
right?
Because the renewal process is about as simple to avail oneself to as is the original application. Judges, in many cases, can initiate the renewal on their own initiative with no petition from the original petitioner. And so in many cases, this will be a lifetime gun ban, and you've never had to set foot in a court of law. That, folks, is a red flag gun seizure. No arrest, no conviction, no nothing. And we haven't even talked about the expansion and how bad they could be.
Well, I think I heard, did I hear right? We were watching that deal in Pennsylvania, and the bill that's being introduced there, Aaron was talking about how the recent acquisition of a firearm or ammo constitutes as evidence.
That's what I was just going to talk about.
Oh, go ahead.
Was it depends on what state you're living in, but some of these things are so nasty. This Pennsylvania one in particular, if you get one of these ERPOs, it's essentially a ban for life, because if you get one of these, you can then be you're declared as mental defective, because under the mental defective statute, it says that anybody who has been declared a danger to themselves or others. So simply by issuing an ERPO, which the basis of is preponderance of the evidence, so more likely than not, you can have a lifetime ban on your gun rights and never, ever, ever get them back with no sentencing, no conviction, nothing.
Madness. And
you lose them for life.
Yeah, and someone here has given me some correction too, or I forgot one big aspect here, which is that it's an ex parte hearing, folks. So that means in your absence. So you're at work, you're traveling for work or for vacation. Heck, maybe you're sitting at home and your crazy aunt who hates you, who lives, 10 states away. Because in Minnesota, there's no requirement, for example, they be anywhere near you. They could literally be, you could be up in freaking International Falls. This person could be in Galveston, Texas. That's about as far as I can imagine the stretch. And they can call it in, and that's it. So if they don't like you, you're screwed. You're screwed. There's no requirement for you to be in the courtroom whatsoever. And in most cases, they're specifically written to keep you from it. That, again, folks, is a red flag gun seizure. And as you guys know, to kind of wrap this part up, this has been the thing that the NRA has been getting a lot of flack over the last couple of, year and a half now, because they came out in March last year and publicly called on Congress to pass these. Now, they want to have some variations on this. They want to tweak it here, tweak it there, but they are deadly serious about you losing your gun rights, having never been convicted in court. They're fine with that. We discussed that with NRA lobbyists at the local level, state level, national level, and they are down for that. So NRA is backing this. As you guys know, there was a hearing on this bill, a month ago now in Washington, D.C. The Republicans in the Senate committee are backing this. And that, guys, is why, as you guys have probably been hearing from us for the last couple of weeks now, we've been working for about a month to get 100,000 signed petitions. Do we have those petition links on our page right now, guys? Are those pinned on all of our pages?
Yeah, we should have it. And if you don't see it, guys, I know tons of y'all are signing right now, but go to stopredflags.com. Yeah. Stopredflags.com. Tons of y'all are signing right now, guys, so head over there and do that. But it should be up on all the pages there, Aaron. And if it's not, somebody post it. If you're watching, post it. Stopredflags.com. Stopredflags.com.
And that is the goal here, guys, with the Republican Senate Caucus Conference they called in D.C., 100% on board. And this was funny. I was in a conference call, I think, with Chris maybe 6 weeks ago with a national gun rights organization who told us, oh, don't worry, this bill's going nowhere fast. The Republicans in that committee, they're going to shoot this thing down hard. Ted Cruz is going to fight for us. We got no concerns about Josh Hawley. Yeah, Lindsey Graham sucks, but everybody else is going to be okay, and it's going to be all right. And I remember asking on that phone call, I was like, what is the reason for your extreme confidence? What is your confidence? What's this based on? Oh, we've talked to these guys, and they're good to go. They're good to go, blah, 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 blah. And what happened? 5 days later, this hearing takes place, and every single one of the Republicans, every single one was in support of the bill. Ted Cruz was like, oh, it's a great first step. Yeah. I mean, Josh Hawley was salivating. Joni Ernst, the folks here in Iowa, oh, it's a great way to stop suicide. Right, because they're not going to find some other way to carry out a freaking suicide. Insane. And And so there's nobody in D.C. right now who is fighting for us on this. And that's why, to wrap this part up here, with the NRA pushing it, with Senate Republicans pushing it, it's up to us now to message directly with President Trump. And our goal here, and the announcement is coming here momentarily, guys, but our goal here is to bring 100,000 signed petitions to the White House as quickly as we can. But we have to get to 100,000 petitions first. We have to hit this number and make it, worthy of this amount of effort to get them there to the White House. If you have not signed your petition, folks, please visit stopredflags.com, stopredflags.com, and add your name to our open letter to President Trump, urging him to veto this bill. Ben, we discussed this the other day on the phone for a little bit. The idea, that I think that, I'm not even sure, with all President Trump has to deal with, I kind of think that, hey, he's from New York City. He's probably not a big gun guy, on his own. My guess is he's just going to do what the NRA tells him to do, because he trusts that they're not going to screw him. And
he did it.
That if he realizes how bad this is for us and for him, that things might change.
Well, that's exactly what happened with the bump stock ban. That's exactly what happened with Fix NICS, the NICS expansion bill. The NRA pushed it. The NRA gave cover, and Trump said, well, go ahead, ban the bump stocks, whatever. So, yeah, it's up to us. It's up to gun owners to get this message across. We can't sit here and rely on losers like $6 million Wayne LaPierre, which, again, is probably way more than that. I mean, the guy's insane in his spending of NRA dollars. We can't rely on them. It's never been about lobbyists. It's never been about lobbyists getting stuff done for the people. It's always the people who are the voices that get this stuff shut down. And that's why, again, the big announcement yet tonight. That's why we were down in Indianapolis. That's why we were flying an airplane over Lucas Oil Stadium 2 weekends ago, calling on President Trump to veto this on behalf of gun owners. I know one thing, Donald Trump, he doesn't want to get unelected. He doesn't want to lose. He says, he's like, I don't go in to lose. I go in to win. If he realizes that gun owners are not supporting this stuff, that the NRA is basically betraying him and his chances for re-election, hey, we might get it vetoed. We might get it shut down. That's what we're trying to do here.
Well, let's be clear.
Are you saying that we can't trust Wayne LaPierre with his $200,000 clothing budget, clothing allotment to take care of this? I mean,
$200,000.
If you guys didn't see his article, it's all over. Just Google Wayne LaPierre clothing. Yeah. I did it just now to confirm the amount here. But here's a guy who's charged over $200,000 for suits and Italian loafers. And the NRA comes out where they say, Chris, we were laughing about this on the phone. Well, he needs them because he does media appearances, which is, I mean, there's so many ways in which that's funny. First of all, we know that he was so afraid to do a media appearance a while back that the producer of this national TV show found Wayne hiding in the green room behind the curtain, and they could only see him because they could see the tip of his Italian loafers poking out from underneath the curtain. I mean, this is insanity. $200,000 to go do one or two video TV interviews a day. But how many nations, Chris, was he charging up a vacation travel to his? You're telling me this. He went all over the world, and he charged all this stuff to vendors and or to the NRA, hundreds of thousands of dollars of money.
Well, that's the big con here, is that he was charging all this stuff through the marketing firm, Ackerman McQueen, and so the NRA, some people at NRA BOD were demanding to see, why is Ackerman McQueen billing us so high? Why is their bills so high? Let's see details. And Ackerman McQueen was like, we're not giving you details, because that's where Wayne's big slush fund is. That's where he's financing these trips over to Europe, to these ski resorts and stuff like that. It's just crazy.
It's like, if I made $6 million, I just swipe my own credit card. How hard is that? Would you think I could buy my own suit, my own boots, if I made $6 million a year? I just don't get it.
Yeah, I want to answer a quick question here. Sorry,
real quick, man. I mean, look,
One quick question. Jamie says, wait, Trump is backing this? Nah, Jamie, it's not that Trump is backing this. It's that Trump is more or less nodding, saying, well, okay, Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox tell me it's okay. I can do that. And, so, hey, it's just, I'm going to do it because I'm being told to do so by them. So anyway.
Yeah, Aaron, the big news, guys, look, the pressure is working. Okay. Everybody out there should know the big announcement. Aaron, you can do it or I can do it, and I'm going to do it. Go ahead. Big, these guys on this right here have a meeting with the White House tomorrow on red flag gun seizure confiscation, where we are telling them very clearly and very simply, we will deliver the message tomorrow to the White House on your behalf that we will, the grassroots is 100% opposed to red flag gun seizure confiscation. Everybody knows what the president said about this after Parkland last year. Everybody saw it. The White House is very aware of that, and he needs to know that not only would red flag gun seizure legislation hurt gun owners, but it would in fact hurt his reelection. Bump stocks are terrible. Everybody knows it. Fix Nick sucks. But red flag
was terrible.
Yeah, was terrible. Is that what I said? But red flag gun seizure legislation is the worst of the worst, and gun owners hate it, and it affects everybody, and everybody knows about it, and the president needs to get right on this, and that is the message that we will be delivering to the White House tomorrow in our meeting with the White House, and we're also going to be working to arrange the delivery of 100,000 petitions to the president. Again, we are meeting with a lot of his top-level people tomorrow, and we're not going to mince words. I mean, it's just what it is. These guys are tough guys. They're killers, a lot of these political guys, and they need to know, and a lot of his staff was out at the NRA meeting when he spoke out there and did the UN Small Arms Treaty thing, but they saw the plane, they heard about it, and if they haven't, they were awfully willing to take a meeting with us on this red flag gun seizure legislation.
They were very quick to take the meeting. And I think
the reason why is simply because we've been executing this plan all along. We did this from the very beginning. Yes. We've been executing this plan to try to build up a crescendo here so that we're bringing maximum leverage of gun owners to bear at exactly the right time so that the pump is primed, so that when we get a meeting like we've got tomorrow, the message rings very loud and clear. We want them to know a lot of different things. First of all, we are backed up by numbers. There are massive amounts of gun owners in swing states, particularly Pennsylvania, Ohio. We are the envy of the world. We as goes Ohio, so goes America. Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, there are gun owners in these states that are furious about red flags. And this entire thing, this entire operation has been geared for this very purpose this entire time. So
see, that's the thing. Clearly, the White House knows there's something going on with red flags. They have the NRA standing there saying pass it, but they're hearing all this noise out in the American stratosphere, and the noise is no red flags. But since there's no other organization fighting on this issue, basically at the national level, the moment we reached out to them, said, we're the American Firearms Coalition, we got to talk to you guys about red flags and about this petition drop. That's why they pounced on this stuff. Somebody who knows what the heck is going on, because Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox obviously do not. They just don't.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's so important, guys. The NRA has been super defensive on this issue. We have drug them out of their rat hole on this. They have a whole page dedicated to saying we're against red flags, but the evidence is there. The news articles are there. All Capitol Hill insiders are saying, and Lindsey Graham is saying, and everyone is saying that the NRA is working behind the scenes to try to pass a bill at this point for the federal government to give money to the states. They're looking for a palatable way to do this. We are delivering the message tomorrow to the White House on your behalf. All the work that our members have been doing, all the petition signings, all the likes and shares, all of the talking to your friends and your gun groups and your chat groups, all the money that you have donated, we have been pounding it, and the White House is like, talk to us, okay? I mean, we asked for the meeting, but they want to talk to us about what is going on because they're feeling the heat on this issue. We have to crank it up. If you are proud to be an American Firearms Coalition member, that is wonderful. We love having you on board. But if you are not, get on board. We are meeting with the highest levels of the White House tomorrow. Get on board as a member of the American Firearms Coalition. Get on board this train. We have to stop this thing. Nobody is fighting at this level, guys. Join AFC.org. Join AFC.org. Join AFC.org, guys. Get the message delivered and make it happen. Aaron, do you want to answer that question and what we are going to be doing in the coming weeks as well?
The question we're getting here, guys, is are we going to be there in person tomorrow? Who's all going? All four of us. Tomorrow is the initial conference call with White House staff. We'd give you the names, but, well, we can't do that right now. Senior staff who want to discuss this issue. You guys saw how well we held the secret of the airplane and how well that was used. So we obviously know we have to keep some things from being picked up on by media outlets and people like that. So tomorrow is the preparatory conference call with the White House to, number one, explain where gun owners are on this issue. And as Ben likes to say, you know, we talk to gun owners every single day on the phone, by email, on Facebook, and we have never, not the four of us who work in about 10 states, never met a gun owner who said, oh my gosh, I wish we could just pass a red flag gun seizure bill. If we did that, it'd be great. And so we're going to give that perspective, first of all, tomorrow, but then perhaps as importantly is to arrange the details to dropping off 100,000 petitions. Patrick, people are asking me, what is the current count? You posted that a minute ago somewhere. Where are we at with this?
Well, before we came on, we added them all up, guys, and people are coming on like this. So it's 72,450 as of about a half hour ago. I see a lot of y'all signing right now at stopredflags.com. 72,450. So we're almost 75% of the way there, guys. We want to get to 100. When we get to 100, we'll have a new level, and we will continue delivering and delivering and delivering because the NRA isn't doing it. No one else is putting the pressure on. We will be doing it, and like Aaron said and I said, we're having that preparatory meeting tomorrow on red flags, delivering the message, and then letting them know that gun owners absolutely 100% are opposed at the grassroots level. And I think that goes back to, we were talking about Wayne LaPierre's wardrobe, which is only kind of interesting, only to make the point that gun owners, people at the American Firearms Coalition, yes, I'm sure we have lawyers and doctors who are members of our organization, but the core group of Second Amendment supporters in this country, of our organizations in our states and of the American Firearms Coalition, they're not wearing custom suits in made in New York City and the Italian leather shoes. If you do, that's great. More power to you. Our people are wearing the blue jeans and boots, blue-collar workers going to work, white-collar workers going to work every single day. If you want to be a part of a group who will not piss off when it's time to fight the fight like the NRA does, join the American Firearms Coalition at joinafc.org, joinafc.org. And while I'm at it, I want to take a second here to thank those of y'all who've already hopped on board as members today, guys. We've got Laura from Fort Valley, Georgia. We have a bunch of y'all chipping in after you sign your Stop Red Flags petition. Paul in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Thank you, Paul. Jonathan in Hopkins, Minnesota. James is a monthly donor now to the American Firearms Coalition. Robert in Woodbridge, Virginia. George in Peoria, Arizona has hopped on board. Wesley in Leslie, Missouri. Michael in Dislodge, Missouri is in. George in Fresno, California. So I think, Aaron, what did you have the information the other day about? We have members in every single state. Was I correct in reading what you had written on that?
Yeah, we're officially now nation have members in all 50 states of the country, and people are signing up, by the day. And some people are trying to figure out. I had a guy here just a minute ago ask this question. Bob says, "Send money, send money." That's all I ever hear from gun owners associations. Send money. Bob, I get it. And here's the thing. The reason why I'm not going to hit you hard, Bob, is because I totally get it. If I've been given money for 4 decades or 6 decades or 8 decades, we had a guy who was 100 years old on the phone the other day who was livid about the NRA. If I've been given money for, decades and decades and decades, only to be screwed over by the NRA and watch them support bump stock bans, watch them support the fixed NICS ban or gun control bill, and watch them back red flag gun seizure laws, I'd be pissed too. So I understand the frustration from that context. From the other context, you got to realize, man, that we are fighting non-stop right now, trying to build this thing up to bring 100,000 names to the White House. And here's the deal, man. This action may be enough to get the president's ear and stop this entire thing. If that was, would you donate to that? I mean, what is freedom worth? We have to fight as hard as we can. All the folks that put that airplane, the Caleb Turners and the Chris, all the guys, Chris from Dallas and Caleb in Minnesota, Ryan, all these people from Brian in Minnesota, all these guys who gave $5, $500, $1,000. They did so because they have the heart of a patriot, and they know that we have got to fight, and we have got to fight right now before we lose it all. There was a shooting today, as I'm sure many people have already commented, shooting today in Colorado. Highland Ranch, Patrick Highland something.
I think so.
Colorado.
Yeah.
There's about looks like 6 or 7 people who were wounded. I'm not sure right now if that situation's under control, if the shooter is dead or in custody. I don't know. But here's the thing: the minute there's a mass shooting, another mass shooting, guys, we all know this is going to be hustled through the Judiciary Committee in a matter of days. And if you think that we can sit here and fight this with pixie dust and good intentions, that's just not reality, man. That's not reality. And so again, for all you folks who did join, like Patrick said, thank you so very much. If you haven't yet, so guys, it's joinafc.org. Craig Martin says, I've joined up. Is there a link for the petition? Craig, I'll post it right now on the page you're watching, but it's stopredflags.com. That's the link, guys. Go to stop.
Just to clarify, guys, after you sign the petition, it does take you to a page to contribute. But once you've clicked submit, your petition has been signed. We don't require that you pay, that you make a contribution before we accept your petition. We got the petition. That's there for activists, for people, you and me, for gun owners who want to take this to the next level. Like Aaron was talking about, the airplane, all this stuff costs money, and it was paid for by donor dollars. But some people are saying, oh, I can't sign it because I don't have a credit card. You can certainly sign your petition regardless of whether or not you make a contribution. We would encourage you to do so. Obviously, we'd be idiots not to. We need your help to do these programs, to run these programs, to get this done. But I just want to throw that out there just in case anybody was confused about how the petition link worked.
Well, and you guys all got I know it's cool with this organization, unlike the NRA and all these big other national groups. You can see in real time how your money's being spent. I mean, you could have joined us, and a lot of you guys did, joined us in Indianapolis. What's that, Chris?
It's just transparency.
You could join us, as many guys and gals did in Indianapolis, and you could see the airplane flying around NRA headquarters. You could see the mobile truck banners, multiple, 2 of them, that we had rotating around and around and around. You can see petition delivery that we're going to make to the White House as soon as we can arrange it, and once we hit 100,000. So go to stopredflags.com. You can see all of this in real time. We answer questions by the moment on our Facebook pages. There's plenty of ways that you guys can hear more about what we're doing here. This is an open book. It's easy. But this fight has to be fought because the NRA is not doing it. They're very, very much in support of this, and we always get people who say, that's bullcrap. I mean, Ben, you get this all the time in Minnesota too. No. The NRA is not supporting this. I got a Facebook note from them, and they said they've opposed all the red flag bills at the state level, and so you guys are full of crap. So you want to address that, Ben?
I'm sorry, I was slamming a troll over here.
That's exactly what I was afraid of. I could see it in his eyes. I could see it in his eyes.
Oh man, I get the fire.
They always tell us that we've opposed this bill in this state, and we oppose this bill in that state. Sure, that's all fine and good. We're talking about the federal Red Flag Gun Seizure bill, the one that Chris Cox did the great big YouTube video supporting a year ago. We're talking about the federal Red Flag Gun Seizure bill that endorsed Marco Rubio has filed. We're talking about the federal Red Flag Gun Seizure bill that A-rated Lindsey Graham is ramming through committee. We're talking about the biggest gun control fight in the last 15 years, and the NRA has openly supported this, openly called for it, and you just don't believe us. I beg you, don't believe us. Don't listen to us. Go to YouTube and look at it yourself. Yeah. Type in Chris Cox ERPO or Chris Cox Red Flag Gun Seizures. Just type it in and you can see it for yourself. Sure, he'll make it sound like we have to have due process. For him, due process simply means that you can be at the hearing. There's no requirement to be convicted. There's no requirement to even be arrested. You can lose your guns on the mere say-so of an embittered ex-spouse, and they are very much supporting that. So anybody who tells you that they're opposing it is reading from the NRA's script that they're pushing out there all across the country. And if you read it, it's very clear they oppose it in this state and in that state. Okay, fine. Where are you fighting in D.C.? For the love of heaven, all you guys do is fundraise on national politics anyway. Everybody knows they don't do a damn thing at the state level, almost anywhere at any time. We all know that, the four of us in particular. Yeah. Their bread and butter is federal gun politics. This is the biggest federal gun control fight in the last 10 or 15 years, and they're nowhere to be seen.
Well, hey, listen to this, guys. One of the just real quick, Ben. One of the big points that I was making to people when I spoke to them in Indianapolis was, okay, if the NRA truly is against the Red Flag Gun Seizure legislation, then why do the two guys on the Republican side who are pushing Red Flag Gun Seizure legislation, Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio, why do they still have A ratings from the NRA? It should be Fs. And they're not, because the NRA is in on it with Dick Blumenthal. And when I told people that, they're like, well, that's a good point. It's like, yeah, because they are doing it and they can no longer deny it. They've been caught red-handed. That is why people are flocking to the American Firearms Coalition. Join AFC.org, stopredflags.com.
Well, Aaron, I don't know did you talk about this already or not, but did you talk about the giant con that is this federal red flag bill is actually a funding bill?
I didn't discuss that. No.
Okay, so folks, and if you read the NRA's daily updates, they talk about the states where they are opposing red flag gun confiscation orders, but they never once in any of their communications, both video, email, any kind of communication coming out of NRA, you do not see them say we are opposed to Lindsey Graham's red flag funding bill. And what this bill does is it creates the financial incentive for states to pass red flag ERPO laws. And so they're saying they're against it at the state level. However, they're not opposing the federal funding that is going to create all of these laws at the state level. And we've seen all these ERPO laws pass at the state level now, where there is they're nasty. There's no due process in any of them at all. And so it's supremely disingenuous for them to say, we oppose these laws, but we support them as long as they have due process, but we're not going to oppose the federal mothership that is going to finance the implementation of this across the entire country. That's the big con here. They're talking out of both sides of their mouth. And it's a clear indication they've been around D.C. for far too long, because it's exactly what the freaking politicians do.
I mean, so what you're saying is we're going to get 50 different, if they all pass, if every state pass, NRA stands there and says, oh, we don't support a red flag law that has this, or this in it, but they're trying to pass a massive funding bill in D.C. And so if all 50 states pass a red flag law, all 50 states pass a different red flag law. Some have ex parte hearings in them. Some don't. Some have this. Some have that. It's just total BS, guys.
And look how terrible. Look how terrible they are at having their reps in the state legislatures right now. How in the hell can they possibly try to convince Americans that they're going to have their lobbyists there for this issue?
Yeah. Everybody in Minnesota,
gun owners in Pennsylvania, gun owners right here in Ohio and in Minnesota, they've been abandoned by the NRA at the state level. And yet here they say we're gonna ensure that due process is in all of these 50 different state laws.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the NRA, they like to act like they're big and bad, like they march into the Capitol and throw down the gauntlet and we're gonna fight for gun owners. I mean,
nope.
I've seen the NRA lobbyist in Minnesota. He doesn't live there. I've seen him there like one time, and the other day I walked past, and there he was. It's like the one time I saw him, and he's sitting on this bench outside the Capitol door, and he's all hunched up like this. And he's kind of like hanging his head, and I kind of like just a little squirrel in the corner. And I kind of looked at him, and there's all these reps walking by, and he's just sitting there with his head hunched down. I was like, "Aren't you with the NRA?
What are you doing, dude?"
And he got up and he walked away. It was the most. I was like, "This cannot be an NRA lobbyist. These people are a joke. They're not fighters." They're not fighters. If they're not supporting gun control, if they're not supporting anti-gun candidates, then they're slouched in the corner hiding from legislators. These guys are babies. They're not killers. We're killers. It was just terrible. I mean, Minnesota is in the fight of our lives to stop gun control. This is ground zero nationwide for so many of these things right now. And there's the NRA guy. Flew into St. Paul just to hide in the corner? It was just embarrassing. It was so embarrassing.
Maybe they're short on money.
I was just like, don't.
Yeah, $6 million.
Don't stand by me.
Italian loafers don't come cheap, dude. Italian loafers don't come cheap.
Guys, for those of you who are just joining in right now, or you got here late, the big news that we've been talking about here tonight is the fact that we have a meeting now lined up with the actual White House. It's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be able to attend this. This is a preliminary meeting. We're going to arrange the final details about what happens in D.C. on this meeting. But we're going to explain to them that now this is political staff. These are top level people. We're going to explain to them just how bad the gun owner community in all these very, very important critical states view these red flags. We're going to tell them, gun owners don't want to be Kavanaugh. We don't want to be guilty until we can prove our innocence. We're going to explain to them just how gun owners in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin are going to be affected by this stuff, and how this is a very, very bad move politically. What are some of the other things we're going to be talking about? I don't have the bullet point list in front of me here, guys.
Well, I think the biggest challenge here is just to make them realize that they're being fed a load of crap from swamp monsters at Waples Mills, which is the NRA headquarters. Yeah, and these guys you can't possibly know what the average gun guy is thinking when you drive around a stretch limo all the time and live in a penthouse suite and are making millions of dollars and don't even. And we asked this question last week. It was the old debate trip up with Ross Perot and George H.W. Bush. I mean, I'm confused with my Bushes, but they asked him, do you know what a gallon of milk costs, to prove how out of touch he was with the world? It's the same thing with Wayne LaPierre. Do you even know what a Glock 19 costs, bro? Like, do you have any idea who you represent? And the bottom line is they don't. And so we're going to make sure that the White House staff realizes these people are idiots.
Yeah, one of the other things we're going to convey to them is we're going to encourage them to go on the NRA's Facebook page and to get a pulse for what the NRA membership actually feels, to go through their comment section, just to take a look at it so that they can realize this isn't just the American Firearms Coalition saying this. Also, they can objectively look and say, wow, we're getting bad advice from NRA brass because their membership says this. These are a lot of the different things we're going to present to them and put our best foot forward here on your behalf. We want them to know these things because they need to know what an error President Trump would be making if he signs this stuff into law.
Well, here's something, guys. If any of y'all were in a hotel and were unlucky enough to grab a copy of the USA Today, and I'm just going to make this brief point, guys. On the front page of the USA Today yesterday, guys, was, should guns be seized from those who pose threats? More states saying yes to red flag laws. You know, Lindsey Graham is quoted in there as supporting it. And don't forget, guys, I mean, the president, obviously he said very stupid, idiotic stuff on this stuff, but he talks to Lindsey Graham all the time. You see what I'm saying here, guys? He plays golf with him down at Mar-a-Lago. He has got to be turned on this by you. You must do this, and we're the vehicle. There it is. Aaron has it right there. I just flipped back over. And lo and behold, you know, I saw a constitutional lawyer who's on the Trump advisory board. I saw this right before we came on. She wrote a big op-ed in the Washington Times, which I know the Republican people read in Washington, D.C., and probably the president sees it on his desk, about how bad red flag gun seizures are. Okay, so I guarantee y'all, nothing is a coincidence in Washington, D.C., I guarantee you she saw that. Somehow they wanted to try to get the word out. Doesn't mean it's the White House trying to get the word out, but some people associated are probably feeling the heat on this and know how massive of a mistake it would make for the president to follow through with some of the stuff that he said on this. There's no getting around it. But again, the larger point is the NRA lobbyists, people like that, Lindsey Graham whispering sweet nothing. So, it's nothing, Mr. President. It's nothing. Chris made the point. White House, go and look at the comments all over social media. By the thousands, gun owners are pissed about red flags, and they want to see leadership out of the White House. Kill this thing. End it. Don't let it happen. Don't let it see the light today. I don't even care if the president calls up Cocaine Mitch up in the Senate and say, Mitch, tell freaking Lindsey to stop this or kill this bill. Don't let it see the light of day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what gun owners want to see out of the White House on this issue. You know, and
Cassie wants to know if we're going to go live tomorrow. Are we going to have a show tomorrow after this conversation, or do we don't know?
Yeah,
yet?
It depends on how it goes. It just depends on how it goes. I mean, we got to see what's going to happen here. This is uncharted territory for us. So we'll let you guys know, as soon as we can. I know we have a lot of things in our schedule tomorrow and the next day, and actually Friday too. So it's going to be a tough week for all of us. We're busy right now, but as fast as we can let you guys know, we will do updates on this as fast as we can. If you guys want to get involved in this fight directly, it's stopredflags.com. And if you want to join up as a member, guys, it's very simple. It's joinafc.org. Tons of you are right now. Do a shout out here. Some of our most recent members. We got Ralph in Deer Park, Texas, just joined up at joinafc.org.
Yes.
We got Philip in Jasper, Georgia, just joined up at joinafc.org. Roger from Kelowna, Illinois, made a very generous donation just now at joinafc.org. Guys, get involved in this fight. Well, Leslie in Winona, Minnesota, just joined up at joinafc.org.
I know Leslie. Thanks, Leslie.
You
Timothy
skipped Shauna, Aaron. You skipped Shauna in
Okay. I'm getting to her in a minute. Okay. Timothy from Hershey, Colorado, just joined up. Michael from Canby, Oregon for my Western-leaning friends. Foxborough, Massachusetts. Tom Brady, no, it's Craig Martin from Foxborough, Mass. Just joined up. I am a Patriots fan. I can't help myself. Sorry if that's a problem for you. I can't help it. Bethlehem, Georgia, Larry just joined up at joinafc.org. Shauna Putney, good friend and soon-to-be better friend in Casper, Wyoming. Shauna, I guess we're going to talk soon from what our mutual friend Anthony told me, so thank you so much for getting involved here from Casper, Wyoming, a beautiful place to be from. Love it out there. John just joined up as a $10 a monthly donor, and monthly donations, guys, are huge for us. Helps us get a kind of a baseline budget established for all the administrative crap that we have to fund to make the operation roll here in the office. So John just joined up from Pennsylvania. We appreciate that very much, sir, for your support out there. Cheyenne just joined up from Wadena, Minnesota at joinafc.org. Michael, again from Oregon, kicked in another $10 just now. Thank you so much. Robert from Woodbridge, Virginia, just joined up. And let's see, one more check here. Robert from Republic, Missouri.
What a great name.
Guys, at joinafc.org. Guys, if you want to get involved, that is the place to go.
One
so
of the
yeah,
other things,
I want to say something too. Our national email is going to be going out. We're aiming to get it out before our meeting with the White House tomorrow, guys. So if you're not on our national email list, when you sign your petition, it says right down there at the bottom, you will get on our national email instant alert. So when something is happening instantly, you're going to hear about it on email. You're going to hear about it on social media. But we are aiming to get that national email out before the meeting with the White House tomorrow, guys. Letting everybody know that we are going to deliver that message tomorrow about just how bad red flag gun seizure legislation is. And go ahead, Chris. Were you about to say something there?
Well, I was just going to circle back. I get excited when I think about all of the specific points that we're going to be relaying to the White House staffers on this. We believe in being very prudent with everything we do here at the American Firearms Coalition. So one of the big points we're going to make with them is that of this 100,000 petitions that we intend to deliver them, and again, I think that number you said it's currently at what, 73,000 you said, Patrick?
Yeah, we're over. We should be over 73 by now during the course of the show.
So we have roughly 73,000 already. Of that 73,000, we're going to be playing our strong suits here. We know that President Trump needs Ohio. We know he needs states like this. So we're going to tell them that of those 73,000, 21,489 of them came out of the swing state of Ohio. That's big. That's big information for political staff like this, because instantly they're seeing red flags, because red flags, is causing problems for them. We're playing our strong hands first in all of these scenarios because it's how we fight for you. We don't have
it's in the state that wrote the book on killing red flag gun seizures after you guys kicked John Kasich the hell out of Columbus. And the last big fight he waged was to pass red flags, and gun owners with Ohio gun owners stopped that bill.
Well, that's actually in the bullet points that I drafted up for tomorrow's conversation, is that gun owners to a person hated John Kasich on his way out. We know that Trump hates John Kasich. And Trump hates him for a lot of different reasons. Number one is the way John Kasich eats his food. It was always disgusting. You guys ever see those videos?
Yeah.
That guy was sick. But we're gonna relay all of this information to them, so that and so that we're playing our best cards, our strongest cards, so that they know that there are political ramifications to passing this stuff. That's what we're trying to do here.
No, I'm on YouTube right now finding a video of John Kasich eating like a pig. So I'm not sure what everybody's been talking about.
The dude eats. I mean, he eats like an animal. It's just
man.
crazy.
If there's ever something to hate somebody for, it's eating like a pig. Man, look at this guy. This is terrible.
His whole shtick when he was doing that was like, oh, I'm the guy that eats down at the diner. Yeah, the guy who eats at the diner, and I slop pancakes and sausage in my mouth. And don't you remember what Trump said about that? He said
I tell my kids, don't look.
Yeah, he was sitting there with freaking Barron or whatever the kids, the Trump son who's like Barron, 8 feet tall now, and he's like, Barron, he's like, Daddy, did you see that guy? And he's like, what the hell? And then he no, don't look, don't eat like that.
These politicians
like that. Take small bites.
These politicians, these elitists, Republicans or Democrats, they're all just so freaking fake. They're all just so fake. They're not fighting for us. They're doing wherever the political winds are blowing. Guys, we want to be the ones who are sending that wind. Stop red flags. Stop this gun control. Save our country from this gun control. That's what we're trying to do here. And President Trump, when it comes to red flags, when it comes to this stuff, the winds determine a lot. They determine a lot. They just do. That's why we are going to get this message across as best we possibly can. It's why we do these live video updates every week, because gun owners deserve to know what we are doing on their behalf. If you are a member of the American Firearms Coalition, this is for you. This show is for you. What we are doing is for you. The rest of these organizations take the money. What happens? whatever happens. Nobody knows.
Wine and cheese. Wine and cheese in downtown Fort Collins. Segway rides. I mean,
Cassie's asking, she could not donate. Do you see my petition? Cassie, we got it. Loaded up 6 minutes ago. Your zip code is 54180. So we got you. Your name is on the list, Cassie at stopredflags.com. Who hears the siren? Is it in Iowa or is it in my head? You hearing a siren, Chris?
I heard
it too.
Someone's got a siren.
I think it's in Georgia. Just to let y'all know, yes, I am in Kennesaw where there is a very low crime rate. But yes, we do have some bad people around. I think that was a cop car out there, guys, rolling by. But
it's probably Minnesota. Do you know how many people live in this state that aren't Americans? There's a lot.
We know about some of that
stuff.
Yeah.
Walter needs to get right too. He says, "OMG, I want to smack Iowa for screwing up pronouncing Oregon, Oregon, or I don't give a damn."
How do you pronounce it?
Everybody gets all my case. I'm gonna stop saying it.
If
I say Oregon, everybody out west loses their crap, and if I say Oregon, people in Iowa lose their crap. So basically, I'm just going to say Portland and the surrounding suburbs and the hell with it. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, look,
I can't win.
My wife is from Colorado. Yeah, she gets all up in arms when I say when I don't say Colorado. I've never said that in my life, and I never will. Same thing with the people from Nevada, and they say, no, it's Nevada. And now, so this Oregon guy is saying it's Oregon or Oregon.
I'm not sure where he's from, but my point is, look, if your state's so jacked up that we can't pronounce it the right way, it's not our problem. It's not our problem. I'm sorry. I can't.
And going forward,
I can't help it.
We have members in every state in the nation, every single state now. So going forward, you're just gonna have to forgive us. We're from Iowa originally. Patrick's from Georgia. I'm
from Braves land down here. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we got to say it like we know it, from Minnesota.
I think my good friend Robert Blakesley's now he's giving me crap because he's a Buffalo Bills fan. Robert, I'm sorry, bro, but my wife is from upstate New York and she's a Bills fan too, and I think that's a joke. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're down that path, man. But my hopes and prayers are with you for your team for next year.
Lucas says signed and supporting. Thank you, Lucas.
People are asking, what's the status with the HR 8? Justin Harvey. It's a great question, Justin, because as you know, the bill passed the Congress and it's been killed so far in the Senate. And you know how it was killed? It was killed by a tweet. It was killed by a tweet from President Trump, who said basically, this bill sucks. I'm going to veto it if it ever gets to my desk. And the word went out to Mitch McConnell to kill the bill. And so that bill has gone nowhere. And that is exactly what we're trying to do here with red flags. We want President Trump to realize how much animosity there is for this bill and just kill it with a tweet. Kill it with a tweet. And so that's the big goal here. We've got to get him to see this for what it is. It's getting bad intel, bad advice, bad politics from NRA morons who are so out to lunch their own organization is imploding right now. Can we just take a sidetrack? Do we have time for a rabbit trail here? I see all these people, former congressmen, wannabe congressmen, some names you know, some you don't know. We're sitting there doing these little articles right now saying, oh, yeah, it's easy for online critics to criticize the NRA, but their freedom's first choice. And how dare you, fair weather friends? You are calling us fair weather friends? We have gunners have bankrolled you people forever. Hundreds of millions of dollars. You couldn't even pass one bill in 2017, 2018, when we had both chambers of Congress and the White House. You couldn't pass anything. And instead, you screwed us on bump stocks. You screwed us on fixed NICs. That was Feinstein's bill, for heaven's sake. We passed Feinstein's bill with your support, NRA, and now you're screwing us on red flags. And all of you losers who want to be on the NRA BOD or who are currently on the NRA BOD, you're going to sit there, you arrogant people are going to sit there and lecture grassroots gun owners who are holding you accountable. You people are so out to lunch. Your own NRA risk department is warning you of criminal liability because your negligence has risen to the level of potential criminality. So before you sit there and lecture gun owners who are walking away from you guys in droves, shut up and look in the mirror and figure out what the heck happened to your organization.
Yeah, because, you know, and this is the way this is. I hate this so much. I hate it so much. This is how this crap goes. Chris's shirt, in case you can't read it, says, I am 1,776% sure that no one is taking my gun.
People here in Ohio have been asking me to stand up and let them know what the shirt says. So this is the AFC shirt that's getting sent out. I mean, is that
we need to start selling them, right? We should put them on the website and for a nice little price there where people can get them. Maybe we can get that up in the next day or so.
Guys, huh? I'll take the hit on that. It's my job was to write the some of the stuff to go along with the T-shirts and the decals. You guys have been asking us for decals. It's my bad. We just got a session in Iowa recently. Chris is in session right now, major busy right now in I almost said in Oregon again. Jeez Louise. In Ohio.
Oregon.
Ben is in the last 10 days, 2 weeks of probably the nastiest session we've ever had in Minnesota. So it's been very busy. The Indianapolis trip was just recently, so it's been slammed around here. We will shortly, I can't give an exact date, but shortly have decals out to every one of the folks who've given us a donation so far. We have a copy of the decals later. I got mine right here, actually.
I got one.
Here's the decals, guys. These will be going out. Now look at that, 3 screens at once. 3 screens at once. Check that out. Everybody's made a donation so far. We'll get one of these shortly. I can't give you a date. I'll just say shortly. Hey, and yes, we will shortly have an option for the T-shirts and stuff online. Somebody sent me a text a little bit ago and said if we joined up earlier, are we going to get a T-shirt now? I'm just going to tell you guys, we just we're not in we don't have the luxury of sitting here, handing out swag right now. We're just getting this organization off the ground. We're going to finalize our membership amounts and the T-shirts and stuff here shortly. It's all coming, guys, shortly. But it's been a lot going on. It's been a super busy time for the last couple of weeks. We just got a session in a bunch of our states, and so we will definitely be in touch. Christopher Denny says, yes, do please sell. Christopher Denny, we will certainly have them. I'm still getting crap from private messages right now from my good friend Anthony Bouchard, who's saying, Aaron, it's Gun with a hash with a dash in between.
My wife, she's the best wife, but she says, "Ha, vindication! I have always pronounced Oregon the right way." No, it's Oregon, hon. See, I'm sorry.
My wife, who's also a wonderful person, doesn't give a rat's about how we pronounce Oregon. So there you go. On the other hand, Julie says, "Win this battle, move forward, resist tyranny." And I love that. That kind of sums up who we are right there. We're fighting like hell. And people ask us on occasion, can I talk about this Minnesota thing for a minute? Can I do that?
Go for it.
People ask us, who are you guys? How do you know that what you're doing is going to accomplish anything? What makes your methods superior to anybody else's methods? Well, like we've talked about in previous shows, what we've done is pass with hundreds of thousands of members, supporters, and gun owners in multiple states. We have passed phenomenal pro-gun legislation, stand your ground, constitutional carry. We've stopped gun control. But today, I just want to mention this specifically because this is, well, it's about Minnesota gun rights, but this is the American Firearms Coalition to an absolute T. This is fantastic stuff. You're going to want to hear this. So,
yeah, I'm just going to put a personal request in here. I want everybody in Ohio to listen to this. This is encouraging stuff. What you're going to hear here is the exact model we've been implementing. I helped implement in Minnesota just a little bit. We're implementing it here in Ohio, and this is the exact model that AFC is working on right now at the national level. So what you're going to hear here is really good stuff. Pay attention. Key in. It's really good stuff.
Okay, so we have in Minnesota, we have a bunch of Democrats, a few Republicans, and we have gun control sitting in a conference committee. So one of the conference committee members is a radical anti-gun leftist Democrat, and he kind of loses it on gun owners on his Facebook page right here. He means to attack us, but all he does is give us a massive shout out. This guy's name is Representative John Lesh. And so he goes through, he starts off and he goes through the criteria about how he reads emails that come into his legislative office. I won't bore you with that. That's boring. This is not boring. He says right here, listen to this. He goes, currently I serve on the Judiciary Public Safety Conference Committee. What this means is the major difference between the House gun control bill and this Senate bill are stark, because there's no gun control in the Senate version. There's gun control in the House version. And so in conference committee, they have to decide on a version everybody agrees on to pass on to our stupid governor, who's a radical leftist as well. He says, one thing I have noticed since the conferees on this committee were announced was the number of emails I have received on the gun bills. I know where my district is on this issue. They overwhelmingly favor gun protection measures. I know where the people of Minnesota are on this. They are 80% in favor of background checks, which is total BS, by the way. That guy's an idiot. Nowhere close to true. He says, and yet the emails I have received on this issue from constituents in my district have been 35-1 pro-gun.
There you go.
So this guy lives in a radical anti-gun district, but for every anti-gun email he's getting telling him to support gun control, he's getting 35 emails from the members of Minnesota gun rights
from his district.
In his district. That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's probably only 35 gun owners in that district, and they all emailed him. That some of these emails have even included the profoundly tone-deaf phrase, kill gun control measures. I love it. I love it. Stop, block, and kill this gun control. They always want to make us feel guilty. That's how we know this is from Minnesota gun rights, because that is our language. He says, and we should be so proud of this, he says, I noticed this because that side, the anti-reform side, has been able to successfully stymie reasonable gun control reform for many years at the Capitol. He's talking about the members and supporters of Minnesota gun rights have stopped every single gun control bill since we were formed. Their organization, their work effort, and their persistence has yielded policy victories well beyond their electoral numbers. This is a radical anti-gunner, guys. This guy hates us. He hates gun owners. He hates us, but he's saying our organization, our work effort, and our persistence has yielded policy victories well beyond their electoral numbers.
That's
Republicans in the Minnesota Senate have drawn a clear line in the sand on any measure that would decrease gun crimes. That's because of Minnesota gun rights members. They are emboldened and unwavering in this stance by reason of the inordinate lobby campaigns by gun rights groups. Republicans and rural Democrats have been led to believe that they have little to gain and everything to lose by passing meaningful gun control measures.
It's true.
Despite the polls overwhelmingly in favor of reform, the electoral threats against them, if they give 1 inch of ground on this issue, have been reinforced over the years so as to make gun control progress unlikely until we either A, flip the Senate, not just to Democrats, but to gun control Democrats, or B, advocates for gun control up their game to a level that is seen from the anti-reform gun lobby. He's saying right here, the anti-gunners have not been delivering a fraction as much as the members and supporters of Minnesota gun rights have been. He says, I think it can be fairly said that we cannot be hopeful about any meaningful gun reform until one or both of these imperatives have transpired.
Oh,
that
stuff, man.
That, guys, is Minnesota gun rights. That is the American Firearms Coalition right there in a nutshell. We don't have to have $500 million in the bank account. We don't need 30 million members in order to cause so much mayhem for anti-gunners as to stop gun control and advance your causes. And I'll tell you, they've kicked us in the teeth. We've kicked them in the teeth. It has been an absolute
kicked out
war.
All their teeth.
It's been an absolute war in Minnesota. But there was one thing that happened above all else. The members of Minnesota Gun Rights stood there and said, absolutely not 1 inch. Go jump off a cliff. We won't give anything away. And you're going to pay if you pass this gun control. And it has delivered and delivered and delivered for Minnesota, thanks to the members and supporters of Minnesota Gun Rights. This is the model that makes radical anti-gun lefties come out and say, frankly, gun owners have done way more than the anti-gunners. They have fought so hard, and I just don't know how we can get any gun control passed here. This is the American Firearms Coalition. This is how it works. This is how we work. We are going to stand our ground. We don't care what anti-gun lawmakers say. We don't care that the NRA attacks us for exposing their betrayals. We don't care about any of this stuff. We care about gun owners, and we're going to fight for gun owners, and we're never going to back down no matter what fake news media, when they run their hit pieces on us, doesn't faze us. Never has. We're going to keep fighting for you. That is why you can join the American Firearms Coalition as we throw down on your behalf and with you to stop red flag gun seizures and so much more as we continue to fight this fight. Go to joinafc.org. Become a member today if you're not already. Stand and fight with us. We're fighting like bulldogs for you. Like Dave Peterson says, patriots are not afraid to fight. That's what we're doing here. And that coming out of Minnesota was a huge testament to the power of grassroots gun owners when they stand their ground. You know, how many times have we heard the NRA say, well, you know, they're going to pass some gun control. So did you want really bad gun control or just a little bit of gun control? We had to support this gun control.
4D
otherwise,
chess.
we would have gotten
4D chess.
Yeah. Otherwise, we would have gotten something worse. How many times have you been told that line of total bullshit? Because that's what it is. Minnesota Gun Rights has proven in this radical, blue, leftist, liberal state that when you dig your heels in, when you give them double birds and say, come and take them, you can stop it. You can stop it in a state that should have passed gun control. You can shut it down. It's what the NRA should have done. It's what they never do. That is what the American Firearms Coalition is doing and will always do. So go to joinafc.org, become a member today. Stand with us. We're standing with you. We're fighting with you guys.
Preach, 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 preach. And the whole time you were saying, I didn't want to interrupt, but that's exactly the same model we used here last year to kill 585, House Bill 585, Kasich gun control, Red Flag's gun control bill. It's the exact same model AFC uses. And when I was listening to you say that, it just reminded me of the 3%. I know there's all those bumper stickers out there. I know there's a lot of 3%ers here in Ohio, but it really reminded me it's the encapsulation of what we're doing here with AFC, with the American Firearms Coalition. It's the encapsulation of that Sam Adams quote. I just pulled it up here so I don't butcher it. It says it does not take a majority to prevail.
Yeah.
But rather an irate, tireless minority.
That's right.
Keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. Well, maybe we're all not so keen on setting brush fires of freedom. Maybe we're more keen on fighting like hell to keep the freedom that has already been paid for. But that story that Ben just said there is so encouraging to me. That's why I just sit here. It's like you get goosebumps on my arms when I think about that. It's not hopeless. It's only hopeless if the biggest people in the room sit down and say, "Oh, we're just going to give up on this one. We're gonna let them have that because we don't think we can win that." It's a bunch of BS. It's BS and it's un-American because Americans don't think that way. If they did, we'd still be sissy British losers.
It's true. And again, these are the tactics that have done this in all these states. This is how Stand Your Ground became law in Iowa. This is how Stand Your Ground and constitutional carry became law in Missouri. This is how Stand Your Ground became law in Wyoming. And the list goes on. So when we tell you, we know what we're doing. We know what this fight takes. We know what we have got to do to get this job done. We just need your help. We just need your help to do this. We need your financial contributions. We need you sharing this information. We need you signing your petitions. We need your help to see it through. It was only the members and supporters of Minnesota gun rights that made that comment from John Lesh become a reality. Wasn't me by myself. And so the American Firearms Coalition is only as strong as its members. And that's why we need your help. Get on board because it works. It works. It works. But that's why the American Firearms Coalition
a lot of folks have been since you've been going, Ben. Your story, I think, is giving folks a lot of inspiration, as it should. And we got to give some of the names here. A big shout out to Randall from Harrod, Ohio, who just joined up at joinafc.org. We got Jerry from Loveland, Ohio, just joined up at joinafc.org. John from Madison, Ohio. We're 3 Ohio names in a row here. Walt from Lewiston, Ohio. 4 Ohioans in a row. Benjamin from Missouri just joined up at joinafc.org. Dennis from Whatcheer, Iowa just joined up at joinafc.org. Elizabeth has made probably her 14th donation, I think it is by now, from Grinnell, Iowa. Again, thank you so much, Elizabeth. Went to joinafc.org. James from Macon, Georgia, just went to joinafc.org and got signed up. Mark made a very generous donation from Hector, Minnesota, just now at joinafc.org. So, guys, you're hearing it from Ben firsthand how we fight. You're seeing from our enemies the impact of how it is that we fight. We don't play games. We don't fight halfway. We go for the throat and we don't let go. I mean, you see what happens when a pit bull latches on to a target. You have to pretty much kill the dog, right, to unbreak that, to break that jaw loose. You've seen the videos. It's an amazing thing. That's how we fight when it comes to gun rights. That's how we fight. It's all or nothing. There's no half measures. There's no in between. That's it, and that's all. And the reason for that is not just that. Well, it's not just for personal amusement, although that's a part of it. I'm not going to lie. It's not just because it's the only way that it works. It's not the only path. It's because so are our enemies. These people aren't playing half measures. Yeah. This is not the gun control of Al Gore from 2000. These people want to destroy us. The news yesterday, you've probably seen this already. Cory Booker came out with a big gun platform yesterday. This idiot, Spartacus, comes out, and here's a guy who sits there and he brags about his time as the mayor of Newark. And I'm like, who the hell would brag for being the mayor of Newark? When you think of shitholes, pardon my French, it's the political term. When you think of a crap hole, outside of the States, you think of, well, every place else. When you think of a shithole in America, you think of Newark, New Jersey. But yet, this guy sits there and brags about how, as the governor, the mayor of Newark, how all the things he did to combat gun violence. And his big piece here now, folks, you saw it yesterday, a national gun registry. He wants to put every gun owner on a list. He wants to limit Americans. This is Americans, mind you. Limit all of us to one gun purchase per month. Ban every AR-15 and all of their variants and all of their sister firearms. He wants to beef up the ATF and have them be attack dogs against every person who holds an FFL. And he's going to use executive action to bypass Congress and crack down on all private sales. Quote, I'm coming at this full bore.
Well, you missed one there.
Anybody who tells you that we can combat this with some half-ass measure is an idiot. Any gun rights organization in your state capital who fights this, like, oh, yes, sir, please, sir, 3 bags full, sir, like the Iowa Firearms Coalition, or with the incompetencies of Buckeye Firearms Association, or with the sellout compromises of Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus or Georgia Carry, or on and on and on it goes. realize on their best day, they would never be up to a guy like this who says, quote, I'm coming at this full bore. They want nothing less than to completely disarm you, to completely disarm Americans. They want to make our great country turn into a European crap hole, to the next Venezuela. And if they get their way, that's exactly what's going to happen. And that's why we fight the way we do. We love our country. We love our forefathers, what they gave us for a country. It's the best we've ever seen. And we owe them everything. We owe them to make this fight, and we owe it to our grandkids and our great grandkids. We owe these people all of this effort. So that's why, if we're going to do this, we want to go 100% all the way, full speed. And that's our goal here. And again, the immediate focal point of that tonight is our petition drive, guys. We want Trump to see this is the biggest issue. This is the biggest issue in gun politics. Everybody at the grassroots level is opposed to this. Help us get there, guys. We've got 75,000 petitions signed now tonight, guys. We need 100,000 to make this work. Tomorrow is the first phone call with the White House to arrange this. We need 100,000 names, guys. 100,000 names.
Look, and I think I haven't said something here in a bit, guys, but I've just been watching and admiring the passion. But just to recap, Aaron is right. We have the big meeting with the White House tomorrow. We will then ultimately, probably in the next few weeks, deliver those 100,000 petitions to the White House, to President Trump's White House, letting him know just how much gun owners are opposed to dangerous red flag gun seizure legislation. But just real quickly, juxtapose what we're doing, us four guys who are leaders of state-level gun rights organizations and now federal organization, and juxtapose that with what the NRA has been doing, working behind the scenes on Capitol Hill and at the White House and elsewhere, trying to find a compromised red flag gun seizure legislation. It just shows you, we started this organization, guys, 3 months ago? We've got members in all 50 states. If you're not a member, go to joinafc.org. We are talking to the White House. You know, this isn't just a bunch of guys sitting around talking on an internet podcast that you see all over social media, guys. You see this everywhere. We wear suits and ties, and we meet with the people who are writing the legislation. And that is a very important point, that if you've just seen us on here wearing T-shirts or collared shirts or whatever, we are doing the nitty-gritty behind-the-scenes stuff, guys. And if that's something that you've been desiring and looking for and wanting for in a gun rights organization, well, then you're our guys. You know, we are your guys. Join up at joinafc.org. If you want more information, let us know in the comments or in private messages, guys. But we do have that White House meeting tomorrow, and we're going to be discussing the red flag issue with the White House and all the political perils that go along with it there tomorrow morning. So, sorry, Chris, I think I cut you off there. Ben, one of the two. I got going.
Now I just want to read a comment. Matthew Daniel says, as Ben said, we are savages of the best kind.
Yes.
And there is nothing we won't do to keep our gun rights. That's the thing, guys. The members of the American Firearms Coalition are unlike any members of any organization anywhere.
Yes.
The Minnesota gun rights people, and I talk about that because that's who I've been working with and for a number of years now. These people have fought like hell. I'm telling you, we have overcome incredible odds in this state because our members are not willing to back down, even when lawmakers are screaming in their faces. I've seen it. That is who the members of the American Firearms Coalition are. They're the best fighters in America. And I'm telling you, every one of you is worth 10 or 20 or 30 anti-gun activists, little old liberals marching through trying to take away your guns. There's no FUDs in the American Firearms Coalition. Fighters, not FUDs. We need to make a t-shirt.
I like that.
Fighters, not FUDs. I like that.
Yeah, fighters, not FUDs.
Fighters, not
That's
FUDs.
I'm telling you, it's true. It's 100% true. Seeing this message again from John Lesh, radical anti-gun Democrat who hates gun owners, basically sit there and say they've trounced us They've trounced us.
I want to expound on that for just a second here.
Go ahead.
What Ben is talking about here, you know, that's what AFC is doing. We're getting the best citizens from any given state. The best citizens from Ohio are joining up with the American Firearms Coalition. So we have a lot of comfort in that. I know that, you know, I talk to gun owners sometimes in New York and in Massachusetts. They message us in the Facebook page here and they say, gosh, I wish we had something like what you guys have going on there here. And I tell them, look, join up with the American Firearms Coalition, because at the federal level, at least, we have awesome people from all over the country as part of these other state groups that are fighting in, you know, and they're engaging their federal level Congress members there. They're fighting for you at the federal level because they're working on their senators over there. And that affects everything that happens in DC. We've talked about this before, but, you know, gun owners in Illinois, they really want Republicans out of Wyoming to fight as hard as they can because they hold back the tide. That's what we're doing here at AFC. We're getting the best people from all over the country together under one banner at the federal level so that the best people in this state can help out the best people in that state who may not have a very decent situation. I hope I'm making sense here, but
what he's saying is we're everything that these other national gun rights organizations pretend to be.
Exactly.
Right? They're just pretending. They're pretenders. They send you some mail. They send you an email. Give us your money. Give us your money. Sign. Give us your money. They don't do anything with it. Or they do the opposite. They pad their pockets. They go on lavish vacations. They buy themselves mansions in the sky, and they support gun control. We're doing everything that we possibly can do. We're doing everything that they have claimed to be doing. And that's what we're doing here. I think that pretty much sums it up, you know, for us here.
I agree.
So somebody gonna talk there? I'm gonna.
No, let's just let it go to dead air for like 30 seconds.
No, I mean that's why you guys, you got to become a member of the American Firearms Coalition.
I agree.
You have to. I mean,
well, guys, that's the big program for tonight. Tomorrow is our phone call, our conference call, our preparatory phone call with the White House. We will hopefully shortly be out there with your petitions, guys. If you want to add your name to our open letter to President Trump urging him to shut this bill down, it's stopredflags.com. That's the website, stopredflags.com. If you want to join up and stand up with us and fight for our gun rights, it's joinafc.org. By the way, we do have a regular website. Sometimes we forget to mention that.
Yeah.
It's just simply AmericanFirearmsCoalition.org. If you want to read more about us and our experience in the fight for gun rights, you can go there. More information there at AmericanFirearmsCoalition.org. But it's kind of long, so we simply say joinafc.org. You can join up right there at joinafc.org. Robert just did so from Blooming Prairie, Minnesota. Just joined up at joinafc.org. Olin from Colbert, Georgia. I don't know, man. I don't know. Georgia just signed up as well at joinafc.org, guys. So that's what we got going on, guys. Big show coming up next week as we announce what happened with the phone call tomorrow. Lots happening in Missouri tonight in the fight for gun rights. More on that tomorrow. If you're on the Missouri page, Chris has got a big, an announcement for tomorrow. But I'm wrapped up here at my end, guys. We have a big show next week. Stay tuned for that. Chris, you got a big thing tomorrow. You want to discuss that for a moment?
Yeah, we've got proponent testimony round number 2 tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock a.m. in room 121 for anybody who's watching on the Ohio page. Right now, this is our chance to go and testify in front of this committee in support for constitutional carry. We're getting a lot of traction on this bill now. If you're in the area, we'd love to have you come out. It might be too late for you to actually testify tomorrow, but we have I will be testifying finally in favor of this legislation. The guys from Ohioans for Concealed Carry will be as well as some of our key activists from around the state. So it's a good time. If you're in the area, we'd love to have you there. And of course, you can watch our Facebook page here tomorrow all day for updates on how that is going. So that's the
not from Ohio, but as somebody who's passed some big statewide gun bills in various states, Iowa, Missouri, Wyoming, this happens a lot. Like Chris just said, for all you guys in Ohio who've been busting your ass for the last year and a half now to stop John Kasich. That was your first huge accomplishment. And then you guys went through a monster primary session last year, and OGO members gutted and stuffed some bad lawmakers and put a bunch of really good people into office. All of that is the hard prep work to get you guys in the position where you are right now. You've got 49% of your House has co-sponsored one of the nation's best constitutional carry drafts ever. And so all of this work, stopping gun control last year, the hard primary program, that's hard work, the hard primary last year, all the work you guys did to perfect the language and the bill drafting and the redrafting and the redrafting and the redrafting and the amendments to get it just right. And then now that's happening. All you OGO members out there, take it from an Iowan who's 8 hours away, expect to see what you've already begun to see. All the rest of these idiots at best who did nothing to get you guys to where you are right now, they're all crawling out of the woodwork right now. They're hopping on a plane, whether it's from Colorado or from DC or somewhere in between, flying out to Columbus, and they're pretending that they have fought for gun rights. They're pretending that they had anything to do whatsoever with this bill. So on behalf of the members of Iowa gun owners, the Missouri Firearms Coalition, Wyoming gun owners, all of us in these states have felt this. We have all done the huge work of passing statewide bills, and we've all seen at the last minute, the 99-yard line, all the rest of these people coming, oh, yeah, we've been with you guys since the very beginning. We know it's bullshit. We know how this game is played. Props, again, to the OGO members. All the rest of you suck-ups, all the rest of you losers who are watching us right now, who are texting your bosses on the beach in Florida or wherever else they may be right now, you suck. And if you didn't suck, you'd have been here and helped us and helped Chris and Ohio gun owners all on the way. And you'd have helped all the rest of these states as well. So huge shout out. You guys in Ohio, what you do out there, it echoes nationwide. You know this. You passed this, you stopped red flags, and that put the brakes on red flags nationwide last year.
It did.
Carry this year. It'd be the fourth state this year. Keep that momentum rolling. We'd love to see it out here in Iowa. Big time.
I love it. Everything you just said, I agree with.
Yeah, guys, I think that's about all we've got for tonight. We will let you know what happens with this meeting with the White House tomorrow. This is the next step. This is the logical next step in this fight to stop red flags. So again, if you haven't signed, go to stopredflags.com. Sign your petition to President Trump, telling him to veto red flags, or just do a tweet. Just tweet President Trump and say, we're not going to pass any red flags. That's all we're asking for here. So go to stopredflags.com. Sign that right away. Go become a member of the American Firearms Coalition at joinafc.org. Become a member tonight, and we'll have more updates for you guys coming up here very soon. And for everybody in Minnesota, stay tuned. We're down to like 13 days, 12 days in the Minnesota legislature. Stuff's moving fast, and we got to keep the heat up and make the John Leshes of the world continue to lose their mind at their lack of success in passing gun seizures and universal gun registration. So that's what I've got, guys.
Well, since I'm running the controls here, I guess I'm gonna finish it up here, guys. But yeah, we want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Yeah. Huge meeting tomorrow, as Ben just said. About an hour and a half show here tonight, guys. We had a lot of activism, a lot of people involved. Go to stopredflags.com. Sign your petition. When we get that 100,000, we're going to the White House, and we will be delivering those to the White House. Tons of y'all have been joining tonight. I counted, I think, Illinois, Texas, California, Oregon, Massachusetts, Ohio, Minnesota,
Wyoming,
Iowa. There was a bunch of Wyoming Missouri states out there. All 50 states are now represented, members of the American Firearms Coalition, guys. Yeah, we have a competition going. You want your state to win? Show up loud and proud. Joinafc.org. Jump on board. the organization where the people look like you, talk like you, walk like you, and want to fight like you want to fight. Joinafc.org, guys.
That's right.
Have a great day. We're going to head home. Guys, we actually have some stuff to talk about here before our meeting tomorrow, tonight and tomorrow morning, guys. But have a great night. I'm Patrick from Kennesaw, Georgia, with Georgia Gun Owners, and for all the guys here, thank you for joining us on the American Firearms Coalition show. JoinAFC.org, AmericanFirearmsCoalition.org, StopRedFlags.com. Talk to y'all later, guys. Bye-bye.
Have a good night, Ohio.
Good night, everybody.
Tomorrow.